All right, quickest intro we've ever done. Here is Tucker. We're in my bathroom. This vlog covers the biggest pot we've ever played in our entire life. I will not spoil the results, but there's plenty of other crazy hands to go along with it. So stay tuned. Let's get into this vlog. Let's go. All right, we got a lot of hands to go over. So I'm gonna knock out these first few hands. In the first hand, we look down at ace, jack of diamonds, and under the gun, I raise it up to $15. I get two callers from the +2 and the cutoff. So we're 3 ways to a flop. It comes pretty good. It comes ace, 7, 3, 2 hearts, 1 spade. Plenty of straight and flush draws to get value from here. So I'm gonna bet out for $20, +2 folds, and the cutoff calls. Off to a turn, it comes a brick deuce of diamonds. I bet out for 55. Could probably make a case for going a little bit larger, maybe 65 or 75, but either way, he folds. We're gonna take down the first hand of the session. On to the next. And this next one, we look down at the ladies from under the gun. I raise it to 15. The cutoff, small blind, and button straddle all call. So 4 ways to a flop. It comes 9, 6, 9, 2 diamonds, 1 spade. The small blind checks. I would typically bet here, but I think it's important to kind of mix in some checks as well with these overpairs. So I check it, and now the cutoff bets $30. The button folds, small blind and I both put in the call. So we're 3 ways to a turn. It comes the 4 of hearts. The small blind checks. I'm going to check as well. And now the cutoff bet's $55. The small blind thinks about it for a minute and then calls. So I'm putting him on a flush draw. And here's where I make my biggest mistake of the hand. I just call. I don't like this because when he bets this small, he almost never has a 9. So I really did contemplate raising, but I just didn't pull the trigger. Wish I would have. I think it would have got folds from both opponents, but that's not what happened. I just called and we are off to a river. It comes the 4 of diamonds, about as gross as it gets, but thankfully action checks around. And the cutoff says he just has 2 pair, so I probably flip over those pocket queens. And then he shows 6, 4 offsuits. So that is a full house, sir. He's gonna take it down. No explanation for that. On to the next. All right, in this one, we look down at 5, 7 of spades. A lot better than pocket queens. Should do us well. We're in the small blind, under the gun, +2 and +3 all limp. And then it folds to the cutoff. He raises to 15. I call, the big blind calls, and of course, all the limpers call. So just 6 ways to a flop. But we smash this flop. It comes deuce, 3, 6, 2 spades, 1 club. We got a gutter. We got a gutter to a straight flush. We got a flush draw. We have everything. So I check with plans to check raise the flop, but it checks around. Okay, off to a turn, it comes the queen of clubs. I'm not gonna let this one check through. I lead out for $50 and everyone folds. So not a bad result. I mean, we win the pot, but was hoping for some action, was hoping to make a hand, but let's be honest, with so many outs, I was probably just gonna brick them all. So happy to take down the pot. Onto this next hand. All right, I'm gonna say it. We look down at the best starting hand in poker, pocket aces. On the button straddle, it folds to the hijack, who raises to 15. Blinds fold, and I 3-bet it up to $45, and he just snap calls. All right, off to a flop. It comes 3, ace, 4, rainbow. So we flop ourselves top set. If he has deuce 5, so be it. And he blind bets though. He blind bets for $6. Oh my goodness. Could probably just raise here, but I don't think he has much. I'm just gonna stick in the call. Off to a turn, it comes the king of spades, and now he sizes up to $100. I don't think he has much here. I'm just gonna stick in the call once again, being in position. I'm gonna try to pick off those bluffs on the river. The river comes the queen of spades. Not my favorite card, but still think we have the best hand. Sadly though, he checks. I bet out for $75, which in my opinion is a mistake. I would have liked a large sizing, maybe 200, 250. Make it super polarizing to where even if he has a 1 pair hand, he'll get suspicious and maybe call us light. But I bet 75 and he folds. So we still win the pot. We still beat Terrell. Terrell can't beat us in a single hand. Literally has never beat us. Probably never will. On this next one, let's go. We look down at pocket 6s in the hijack in this one. Under the gun, +2 and +3 both limp. I raise it up to $20 and both the limpers call. So we're 3 ways to a flop. It comes 4, jack, 3, rainbow. A pretty good board, only 1 overcard of these pocket 6s. And surprisingly, the under the gun player donk bets for $35. Folds to me. I'm not gonna be folding here. I stick in the call. We're off to a turn. It comes the 5 of clubs. So we turn ourselves open-ended and he shoves for $126. I don't know, this one just doesn't make sense to me unless he has a hand like 4-5 or 3-4, but I just feel like he's full of it, so I'm gonna get a bit sticky here. I stick in the call and he just says he's on a straight draw and I'm probably good. I flip over the pocket 6s and then he shows jack, 7 offsuit, so he's not lying. He's on a straight draw. He just left out the part where he also has top pair. That's a bit irritating, but no worries. Justice is served on the deuce of diamonds river. We river the straight, so we get justice for that comment, that inaccurate, slightly accurate comment. We scoop a $402 pot. Let's go. All right, it looks like we're finally gaining some momentum. In this one, we pick up king queen offsuit in the big blind. A middle position player raises to 25. It folds over to the small blind. He sticks in the call. I don't really like calling with this hand, especially being sandwiched between two players. Pause. So I'm gonna stick in a 3-bet here. I'm gonna make it pretty large. Being out of position, I make it $100, and now the middle position player just rips it all in for $500. The small blind tanks for about a minute or so, but he folds, and not much to do here. At best, we're gonna be flipping against a middling pocket pair, so I reluctantly fold. I know, not really an interesting hand, but just wanted to include it because there's plenty of hands like this where you 3-bet, you squeeze, you raise pre-flop, and you just don't win the hand. You either fold pre-flop or you whiff the flop and have to fold, and that equates to a lot of money over the course of a 4 to 5 hour session. But this is no big deal. We're gonna have plenty more hands to try and get that $100 back. All right, in this one we're in the small blind with king 7 suited. There's 3 limps, and now the button makes it $15. I'm gonna stick in the call, and of course all the limpers are gonna call as well. So 5 ways to a flop becomes king 5-5 rainbow. So we flop 2 pair technically. I'm gonna check though, and it checks over to the button. He bets $55. I don't know, Terrell, this one just doesn't make sense, buddy. If you had a king, I think you would bet a bit smaller. So I'm gonna stick in the call, of course, and everyone else folds. We're off to a turn. It comes the 7 of clubs, so hopefully Terrell has a hand like ace king, king jack, king 10, king queen, just any king for that matter, and we should be able to get some value if that's the case. So I check with plans to check raise, but of course Terrell's scared. He knows he can't beat me. He checks it back. Off to a brick river, it comes the deuce of diamonds. I'm gonna lead out here and ensure we get some value. I bet $75 and Terrell just folds. Told you guys, this guy can't beat me. In hindsight, again, could probably go a bit larger, maybe 100, 150. Try to be a bit more polarizing, but just really put him on a king and thought if I went too big, maybe he'd put me on a 5 and get away from a king. So I don't hate my sizing, but either way, we take this one down and we beat Terrell once again. On to the next hand. All right, this is the hand of the session, aka the biggest hand of my life. We look down at ace king of diamonds from under the gun, and we raise it up to $20, and we are immediately greeted with a 3-bet from Tyler, who's our friend in the middle position. He 3-bets us up to $80. It folds over to the small blind, who jams for $525. What? Real quick though, the small blind player's name is Nick. Follow him on all socials at On Tilt Poker for the funniest content in the game right now. And Nick is wild. Nick could have 5-7 suited. He could have pocket aces. He could have pocket kings. Y'all get it. He's crazy. He could have it all. So I am not going to be folding. I stick in the call for $525, not realizing that Tyler has me covered, and I am about 750 effective. And now Tyler goes into the tank for about a minute or so, and he finally decides to call. Okay, didn't expect that. So now we are 3 ways to a flop. One player is already all in. We already have $1,575 in the pot, and the flop comes ace 9-9, 2 clubs, 1 spade. About as good as we could ask with ace king. I'm gonna make sure we get all this money in. I bet out for $100. Come on, Tyler, you can't fold. You're getting like 17 to 1 on the call. And sure enough, he sticks it all in. I snap call. I flip over the ace king of diamonds, and he shows ace king of spades. Whew. When he flipped it over so confidently, I was thinking he might have pocket 9s, but thankfully it looks like we're just going to be chopping up Nick's money. However, he has spades, so we're not out of the woods just yet, and I would just let you guys see what happens.
Oh my God.
No! 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 Good shit, dude. Good shit. So yeah, runner flush, and Tyler's gonna scoop the whole pot. I mean, who invited this guy to come play? That would be me. Yeah, actually, after the hand, I thought he made a royal flush because I saw the 10 and queen of spades. So in my head, I was just thinking, wow, this is gonna be amazing content, and it took me about a minute or so to realize I need to go get more chips because I just got stacked. So anyways, that is actually the biggest pot of my life. We didn't win it, but I'm happy it went to Tyler. Cool guy, has been supporting the channel since the beginning. Shout out to you, bro. Can't wait to battle in the future. Moving along. All right, I'm not gonna lie though. After that hand, I was a bit out of it. I probably tilted off $100 to $200. Made some really light calls, was just trying to get my money back quickly. But by the time this hand happened, I was in a good headspace. I was ready to claw my way back out of this hole. So let's see if we can't do that. In this one, we look down at Queen 8 of spades. I limp from under the gun, not recommended. The +1 raises to $10. The button, big blind, and myself sticking the call, and we go off to a pretty good flop. Comes deuce, deuce, jack, 2 spades. So we got ourselves a flush draw. And now the big blind bets out for $20. I call, everyone else folds, and the turn brings immediate help in the form of the 5 of spades. Now the big blind bets again, this time for $15. I'm just gonna stick it all in. She only has $68 effective, so I go all in for her remaining $53, and she sticks in the call and shows pocket kings with the king of spades. Don't you do it, dealer. The river comes the 8 of diamonds, so our flush holds. We're going to scoop a $216 pot. Not a huge pot, but it was a huge confidence booster for me. Let's see if we can complete this comeback onto the next hand. All right, ace queen offsuit on the button straddle. Under the gun, +2, +3, small blind and big blind all limp. Not going to let that fly. I raise it up to $30. The big blind and under the gun both call. Folds over to the +3, who puts in the min raise to $60. I don't even know what to make of this. A limp min raise? I don't know what that range looks like. Was really close to 4-betting here, but I just was a bit lost. So I just stuck in the call, and that brings in the other 2 players. So we are going 4 ways to a flop here, and it comes 6, 10, 3, 2 hearts, 1 spade. Checks to the +3 player, who bets 25 bucks. I don't even know what the heck this means. All I know is I'm getting insane odds to hit an ace or a queen, so I'm gonna stick in the call, and so do the other 2 players. Off to a turn, it comes the 4 of diamonds. Checks again to the +3, and again he bets $25, and I was so close to raising or just jamming, but again, I'm not gonna lie, I was just super lost. So I just stuck in the call. The big blind folds, and under the gun calls. Off to a river, but real quick, forgot to mention the under the gun player checks dark. Something to make note of. So I'm just praying for no heart, because when he does that, I'm putting him on a flush draw. And what do you know, river comes a heart, but it's the queen of hearts. So again, under the gun, check dark, +3 now checks, and I was pretty close to betting, but just really felt like someone could have a flush here. So I reluctantly check, I show, I win. I don't even know how to break this hand down, but just happy to scoop this $425 pot. Probably the weirdest pot I've ever won in my entire life. On to the next hand. Let's go. All right, we're almost out of the hole, and in this one we pick up pocket 5s in the small blind. +1 limps, +2 raises to $10, +3 cut off myself, and a +1 and the button straddle all call. So we're going 6 ways to a flop per usual. It comes deuce, 5, 7. Let's go. Flop ourselves middle set. It checks to the +2 player, who bets $20. Folds to me. I'm going to go ahead and just stick in the call here and wait to raise on the turn. Everyone else folds, so we're going heads up to a turn. It comes the queen of diamonds. +2 now bets $40. Now it's time to put in that raise. I raise it up to $140. Could probably make a case for just calling here, but I just was hoping that my opponent would get pretty sticky, or if they had an overpair here. My raise doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's either a set or nothing, so was hoping it would look a little fishy and my opponent would get sticky here, but unfortunately that's not the case. She folds and shows a 7 face up, so kind of kicking myself. I mean, I'm in position, I can always raise the river. So yeah, probably a bit of a mistake on my end now that I'm saying it out loud. It's okay though, we still win the pot. On to the next. Yep, that's right, we have our chips in the rack. This is the last hand of the session. We're either gonna get stacked or we're gonna double up. We look down at pocket 5s in the cutoff. Under the gun limps, low jack limps, I limp. Hoping to keep this pot small, but of course that's not gonna happen. The button raises a 35. All of us limpers call per usual. We're off to a flop. It comes 5, 8, queen, 2 clubs. Let's go. Under the gun donks for $25. A low jack calls. This just screams weakness. It screams flush draw. So I'm going to put in a raise here to $100. The button folds. Under the gun calls, and the low jack folds. So we're heads up to a turn. The turn comes the bink queen of hearts, and now the under the gun slows down and checks. We either have her drawn dead, or she has a hand like pocket 8s. or queen 8 and has us drawn dead. Well, no, because we could hit a 5. But either way, we're in good shape or really bad shape. Y'all get the point. So I'm going to check this one back and hope she's just chasing a flush and gets there on the river. And sure enough, the river brings in that flush. It's the 10 of clubs, and she instantly leads out for $200. I jam for $233. She snap calls and says flush. No good. I flip over the pocket 5s, and y'all can see here Yanni has on the shades, and he is super, super happy we won this pot. So am I, Yanni. That's how we're going to end this session with a win in an $837 pot. On to the outro. All right, that is it for this vlog. Here are the results. We were in the game for, that would be my rice going off. I'm gonna keep it going though. We were in this game for $1,000, cashed out for $898. That's only a loss of $102. I mean, to play in the biggest pot of our life and lose like that, $102 loss, it could have been way, way worse. Something I've learned over the past few months playing poker is that you can minimize those losses when you get coolered and you're tilted, to not tilt off hundreds and hundreds of dollars. That is key. So I'm happy that I was able to stay composed and grind my way back to only losing $102. I will take that all day. Yeah, that's it for this vlog though. If you haven't liked, comment, shared, and subscribed, what are you doing? Go ahead and do that. I'll wait. Thank you. And yeah, that's it for this one. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.